Hello, you're welcome to the Women in Tax show again. Once again, we are running with a series and episodes. Hopefully you've watched all the other episodes. This is a brand new one with a special guest. She will be introducing herself, and she's very talented and experienced in the taxation industry, and I hope that you enjoy the conversation I'm going to have with her. My name is Elizabeth Nakiru, your host, and thank you for joining us. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for giving me this opportunity.
Yes.
My name is Agnes Nabwire Asobola.
Yes.
I'm the Assistant Commissioner Tax Investigation. I've worked with URA for over 20 years.
Wow.
Yes, yes, over 20 years, and I started as an officer. I came in as an officer.
Before we get there, Agnes,
yes.
Was it your dream to actually do taxation, or somehow you landed in it? What
Not
was it?
at
What was
all.
the dream?
Not at all,
Yes.
not at all.
So-
I must say that I just found myself there.
So how did it start? So when you were little, what was the dream?
Okay, growing up, I come from a very humble background. And at the age of about four or 3.5 thereabout, I lost my dad. He was one of big officials in police.
Yes.
So when he passed on, the lifestyle we were used to,
Changed.
it changed drastically. Because my mom left the place where we're staying. At that time, she was working in Mulago Hospital as a nurse.
Wow.
So she left and went to the village. I mean, trying to...
From Kampala straight to the
Yes,
village.
Straight to the village.
Yes.
And she said, no, something else has to happen. Now, the culture on my father's side was that when a woman loses a husband, another man can
Has to
actually
take-
take on. But she was not in for that.
So you left from the Kampala to the
Kampala.
village of your dad or your
Of
mom?
my dad.
Of your dad, okay.
So my mom made a decision and said, no, I'm going to look for greener pastures.
Okay.
I think she just wanted to get out of the space
Yes.
because of the heart and the pain. So she found herself in Kenya. So when she worked, I think for about 3 years,
Yes.
so she settled. And that time we're living with our grandmother from the father's side.
Yes.
And of course, village education, you would walk, I mean, real village life.
So is it just you, or how many siblings
Me
are you?
and my 2 siblings.
Okay.
So one old, and then the other one was just a very little 1.5
Baby.
years.
Yes.
So we would walk to school. I want you to imagine that kind of environment. So talk about a dream. I don't think it was clear then.
Then, yeah.
So after she had worked about 3 years in Kenya, she decides to move us from our father's side to her mother's side.
Wow.
Because both of her parents were there. So she hands out over to her parents. So because of this...
So what age were you around that
They're
time?
about coming to about 7
Still
years.
for a year.
Still,
Okay.
yeah. So she hands us over to her parents, and the parents absorbed us like we were their children.
Oh, they loved
Yeah,
you. They
loved
welcomed
us
you.
because of their daughter. So she pursued her work in Kenya. She's a registered nurse.
Nice.
But since retired now.
Okay.
So we spent about a year or 2 in another village school, but this side on
With
my
your
mother's
grandparents.
side. Yes,
So
this
where was
side.
that?
That is in Busia, yes.
okay.
And there was a primary school near, a walkable distance, so we'd walk.
Yes.
So she struggled. She said, no, I must take my children to a reasonable school. So then she now got me into a boarding school, a Catholic boarding primary school. So she takes me there, and here I find myself in the hands of nuns, the Catholic nuns.
Nice. Yes.
So because I was, I would say I was a little bit playful, I mean, just there, I mean, not yet figuring out what life is, but just living that life. So when I get to to the Davani Primary Boarding School.
I know Davani for girls.
Yes, Davani Girls Primary. Yes, that's
I know
where
the
I went.
school. Okay.
So because I was outgoing, quickly the nuns picked me to participate in the Catholic prayer.
Okay, the prayers.
Sessions and all that.
So what class is that
So
now?
now, by the time they picked me, I was now going to P5.
Okay, interesting.
So they picked me up and they introduced me in the culture of praying and leading prayers.
Yes.
So that time, I remember I would lead novena,
I know
rosary,
the rosary.
yes, and we had schedules very early in the morning. Being a boarding school, we first go and do some cleaning.
Yes.
At times, go dig.
Did you have morning glory?
Yes.
Then you
yes,
come
then
back
we
and
come
do
back and do
okay.
yes.
Yes.
So I think they saw the interest, so they picked me up, and by the grace of God, I think I wanted to be there, to be seen.
Oh,
so whatever sign we would give out.
do.
So I ultimately grew into an altar girl.
Wow.
So I would go work with the priests, serve, and now besides that angle, there was an angle now of class. Incidentally, I was very bright by the grace of God, but because of the village system, I think I had not been aligned very well. Now, when I got into this discipline, ways of doing things, doing preps in the night and all that, I really excelled.
Okay.
So throughout my primary, I led the class.
Okay, interesting.
So, and there they picked me up to be a timekeeper. My work was to go ring the bell. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, definitely.
So, and by that time, I think my focus was more on the nuns.
Okay.
I admired, there was one nun, we used to call her Sister Francis.
Okay.
I admired her, and somehow I thought I would actually
follow the journey of being a nun.
The journey of being a nun. But the journey of career had not clicked at that time.
Okay.
So we go into secondary. I went to Toro Girls Primary School.
Yes.
Secondary school.
Yeah.
Yes. P7, I went Toro Girls S1.
Yes.
Now they are influence team groups there.
Even the experiences are now different. There. Now you're older.
So, because I loved discussion, I did not talk about that. I would quickly stand and discuss, and I loved math. Discuss, write numbers on blackboard.
Okay.
So even when I entered Rural Girls, I loved leading discussions. So I thought maybe I may end up being a what?
A teacher. Okay, now the dream changes a bit.
Yeah, I began saying, I think I may be a teacher. Outstanding. So the life continues.
Okay.
So we go through, fast forward, I finish A level. Now O level, I had wanted to go to Namagunga, but the marks were so I remained in Toro Girls. Now the combination I picked was MEG.
Oh, interesting.
Now when I got MEG,
so MEG is math, economics,
economics and geography. Now there, I think the issue of accounting, people would begin talking. I want to be an accountant. I want to be. So I'll just say, I think I'll go with this one. Okay. Since I did well in math, then no problem.
So from nun to teacher, now accounting.
Now. So I want to say how it was not clear.
Okay.
It was not clear at all. So anyhow, I finished my A level.
Okay.
Incidentally, I did not get BCom. And that's what I had wanted.
Okay.
But somehow I got government sponsorship. So I went for Bachelor of Science. Okay. So Bachelor of Science, because I did well in math, they gave me math. I want to hear the combination. Math, geography, and psychology. That's the combination I did.
Wow.
But because my mom did not have money for me to go for private.
Yes.
She just told me that just go and do that degree. And indeed I went. I went and did that degree.
Yes.
But then my younger brother also, by the grace of God, made it to campus. Nice. He also did MEG. So I think now the family thing was beginning now, MEG, accountants.
Are you the firstborn?
No. second.
Second one.
So we go and he does BCom, and while I'm finishing, an opportunity comes. URA through the church is looking for people that can be recruited to go and train in military in order to come and do enforcement work in URA.
So when is this? After campus or
Now,
are you
this
still
was
studying?
my third year
Oh,
campus.
almost getting done.
Almost getting done. Opportunity comes. Now, by that time, I don't tell you. Remember, I grew up as a Catholic girl, that's shaping.
Yes, the shaping.
But I come from a family of mixed Catholic and Protestant.
Yes.
But now, because of this shaping of the primary school under the nuns, even in Truro Girls, I was actually Catholic. Now, when I get to campus, second year, I give my life to Christ.
Amen.
Now, when I give my life to Christ, we used to meet Mango Tree Revival, and at that time, Miracle Center under Robert, Pastor Robert Kayanja would send vans to pick us up, campusers going there. So, just because
so for
of
campus,
that,
you were at Makerere?
yes, I was at Makerere University.
Okay. So are you still thinking of career, or you're just doing
No,
that
that
course?
time I'm just doing the course because my mom
Yes.
had encouraged me, but still that deep desire for me doing what the combination was meant to help me achieve, the BCom accountants, was still there. But I didn't have any means.
You didn't have the means to.
So this opportunity shows up. So through Pastor Kayanja's ministry, they pick up a few students that they thought have integrity, may actually go train and come back and enforce. And at that time, I think URA was at the helm of corruption. And I think the government wanted to see the best way how to mitigate that. So they opted to pick young students or young Makerere, or rather people from institutions that feared the Lord. And by that time I was, by the grace of God again.
You were at least
So
embraced there for
we
the
are picked up towards our exams. We finish our exams, our final papers, and we are collected and told we are taking somewhere for training. Now, in our minds, we thought it was this trainings of.
So, what year was that?
This was 1998.
Wow.
Yes, 1998.
Wow. Okay.
So we are picked and we go for this military training.
Okay.
It started like 1 month. They said 2 months, 3 months.
You don't know what's going on, but you're training.
Up to 9 months.
What? You trained for 9 months?
Yes. And of course, by that time, anyone who has trained for 9 months, you actually qualify to be a private. In other words, a soldier. We're even given numbers. To a point we're told that you guys, we can actually just make a decision and you go for full military.
Really?
So anyhow, we fast track. A few of us who knew the reason why we went, because when we went, we joined with another team that was joining to join army.
Yes.
So a few of us said, no, this is not the reason why we came for this training. So when we passed out, my mom at that time, remember I told you she had gone to Kenya.
Yes.
She calls me, said, no, my daughter, you're not going to be
A soldier.
Given her background, her husband was a policeman.
So
And
she
I
thought
think that
like,
history and what she really wanted to disconnect. So she tells me, come over. So I go to Kenya. She was in Kisii at that time. So I go and stay there. And meanwhile, I had friends that I was connecting. What is happening? And there was a pursuit to see that those that had gone for purpose of coming to URA actually come. And by that time, the current CG, he was the person that actually was working with us. So they work it out, and the other group,
they continued to be soldiers.
They continued to be soldiers, and they were taken to Jinja, Chimaka, for further training. Now with us, we were now called. So when we confirmed that, because my mom had said, if it is that, let's
Please.
count that a lost time,
And you
and
continue.
we think of how to figure out what you would do. Now, at that time, what is in my mind, if it goes well, I'm going to come into URA as an enforcer.
Okay.
Fast track, we were called. Went into training, total tax person, all that we did. So we start working. So we're deployed in special SRPS, Revenue Protection Service, RPS, Revenue Protection Service. So I come in as an officer. So we start working.
Okay.
And at that time we enter, and our work was basically to see that we do the right thing.
True.
We try as much as possible to learn and then be able to stand on our course, yet the environment is telling you go this side.
This is the road.
So our start was really not a nice welcome home kind of environment that URA now has.
Yes.
Somebody new comes in, they have that party, you feel that it wasn't that. We faced some good resistance because we were coming as a team coming to fight and try to bring in
a different change, different
kind
way
of
of
change.
working things.
No, we are here, we are not ready to take bribe, we are doing things differently.
Yes.
So given the environment and the society at that time, it was really difficult.
Yeah.
So we worked through it, and by the grace of God, we pushed, years came, restructuring happened, and through the restructuring, because the message was that we need to rediscover why URA is in this place. And the fact that the president really wanted to see a change. So at that time, Allen Kajina becomes the Commissioner General. That is 2004. And there was restructuring now. And all of us were declared jobless. We start applying.
Again.
So
what was the stress like? How did you manage to do that? Yes.
There was a team that was devoted to pray, and we're praying.
Yes.
We were praying to see a change. But it's like the more you pray, the more you see the opposite. Actually, personally, I must say that at the time of restructuring, prior to the restructuring, I almost left URA. I almost left and said I cannot fight where I don't see any change. But somehow the word of God would come and say, no, keep there. So fast track, the restructuring happens. Now, I was an officer. We apply. Right from the Commissioner General, after her appointment, everybody else had to reapply. The commissioners. And remember, at that time, the structure had been shortened. The structure before was very tall, but there was that deputy, assistant, all that was removed.
Was removed, so you had to reapply.
It was this current structure that had been squeezed. I mean, from about I think about over 10 or 11 or 12, squeezed to 5.
Oh. So you're reapplying and you're not even sure.
You're not even sure
that you're going to come back for your exact position you're doing.
So now the leaders start.
Okay.
Now those who were leaders begin dropping off.
Okay.
And you see them coming to lower what?
Positions.
Applying, competing. So that time I was an officer, and just said, but let me give it a shot. So I gave a shot for a supervisor.
Okay.
And I got it.
Wow.
Now when that happens, I was in enforcement. Now I'm taken into the full customs field service work, evaluation, all that, I do it. So my journey, when I now became a supervisor, there was a seeming kind of settling because the environment has changed. The values, the core values had been changed. One of the things was integrity. So it began,
So for you it became much better than how you came in.
Than how I came in.
Yes.
Now, when that time came, now we began, now I must say now, that's now when that sense of career, say what should I really turn out to be?
Okay. So you had that, now that's the time you had that caution of, now what do I want to do?
What do I want to do?
At that stage?
At that stage.
Wow.
I now apply for SCCA. That dream of accountant
now comes back. It makes sense. You're happy to do it. You can actually do it. Yeah, so when was this? Which year was this now?
Yes, 2006.
Okay.
So I began doing that, and The time I was pursuing my SCCA,
Yes.
you work and then you go for evening classes. I was doing it at MAT industrial area. Now, but that time you have got disappointment. You must deliver. So that issue of balancing,
Yes.
work and then.
So how did you manage to balance between work
Because you make sure
and
whatever
school?
you're determined to do in the day, you do it.
Okay.
I was an early riser.
Yeah.
And you make sure you have done it. And also make sure that by the time the evening comes, you've done your part and you run to school.
Yes.
So fast track, I finish.
Okay.
I did self-sponsorship.
Nice.
That time URA was only sponsoring staff in domestic taxes.
Oh, wow.
So me was in customs, I never enjoyed
You
that.
never got that.
So, and what facilitated my that part of career was basically salary advances.
Yes.
I would apply for salary advance and then be able to be given, and I pay my fees.
True.
And I finished. So when I finished, 2008,
Okay.
I asked the commissioner to transfer me to audit so that I practice what I had studied.
Okay.
So thereabout towards the end of 2007, not 17, 2007, 8, I got to customs audit.
Okay.
So I began practicing what I had actually learned. So their sense begins coming what direction I wanted to pursue.
So by this time, do you have children? Do you have
No,
a family?
that time I
You're
wasn't.
just building
Yes,
yourself
building
up.
my career.
Wow. So I like
So
that
now,
you took your time to actually
So
build.
when now I'm in customs audit, till I came as a supervisor
Okay.
audit.
Nice.
So when I was pursuing that, that's when now the issue of family comes in.
Okay.
Then I decide I need now to settle. And of course, God brings in this gentleman. The wedding takes place.
Nice.
And at that time, of course, opportunities begin coming.
Yes.
When I was expecting my first child, opportunity for manager comes in. Manager comes, customs audit. I apply for it. I sit and I get it.
Yes.
I finish my second child, opportunity for, actually I think all my promotions come after that level. It come when I'm
After maternity.
actually going to pregnant. Because even this one for SC position, it came when I was.
Wow.
Then,
What's the secret?
then I don't know. Maybe it comes with a blessing. So I also picked, but I took a while in customs audit because I took 7 years in customs audit.
Okay.
So later on, I go for enforcement. Now they take me back now to where I had started. Imagine I'd come as an enforcement officer. I grow into the customs main business, field services, go to the border, went to the border, came back, in Tebe. I mean to familiarize. So I must say I had gotten the whole picture of customs business. And then when I go to customs audit, ability to see what plays out in customs and also in domestic taxes because of the records, the books that we're reviewing for taxpayers. So ability to see and juggle all that.
Yes.
So when I go back to enforcement now, I was able to apply my field experience and also the background. I mean the back knowledge where you review documents, which I had built in what? In customs audit.
Right.
So that's how I become the commissioner, that assistant commissioner enforcement.
Wow.
And then, of course, all these changes happen. I find myself in tax investigation, head intelligence, and now I'm in investigation. So that has been my journey. Yes.
So
I had never dreamt of being a tax person.
But I love the realization where it came for you and you said, okay, now this is what I want to do. And then you went back to school and still worked and maintained it. So at this level, someone would say you're at the top of the food chain. How can you describe the journey? In like 3 words, how would you describe it for you now that you're at the top? What has it been like for you?
I think it is determination to get what you want. I would really say that determination and then to sacrifice.
Tell us about what is it? What is it about sacrifice?
About sacrifice, like at the time you're a young girl, your friends are buying nice cars,
Yes.
people are changing cars, but your money is going to school.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that because I remember I had a car I had driven for a long time to a point where say, whenever we see that car, we know Agnes has come. So that tells you it was sacrifice.
Yes, a good
Ability
one.
to sacrifice, you're determined sacrifice
Yes.
and get what you want. And then also being able to take advantage of every opportunity that shows up.
Yes.
I did not ever doubt to try it.
Okay.
When those opportunities came of those job openings, I would try.
You didn't doubt yourself.
I didn't
You'd
doubt.
say
I
it's
tried,
okay.
and I must say that I failed many times. Like to become a manager, I failed many times because you sit, go before the board, somehow you don't make it. But that did not deter me from trying again.
Yes.
Same thing for assistant commissioner.
Yes.
At assistant commissioner level at that time, I had even acted as assistant commissioner, customs audit. So when that position falls vacant,
Yes.
it was vacant, I acted, and I was supposed to now take it. Because I had done well, I thought I
thought
actually
you had
deserved
done
it,
it,
but I
yeah.
never got it. But then a month or two after, the advert for assistant commissioner enforcement was there. And I remember someone saying, you've just gone through this one, you failed. How do you, on the last day of the closure for application,
Yes.
I remember it was a Sunday, and I was just there, and my husband said, but really, don't just give up.
Do something.
Because I think I was hurt. I felt I had served, I'd given my all. And so my husband said, no, go and put in. So we drive, that time we were staying in Welgare, we drive up to Crested Towers. I go and I put in.
Oh, I love the support there.
Yes,
I love the
see,
support.
But you see
Yes.
support and you see determination.
Yes, and
So he
determination.
supports me. We go there together. I sit, I do my application, I send in. And that is the interview. I mean, that is the application that made me become the assistant commissioner. So had I not taken advantage of
Yes,
that,
yes.
I would have missed it. So those are the three things.
Determination,
Determination,
yes.
sacrifice, taking advantage of every opportunity.
Yes. I love that you mentioned in your submission, you said that you have failed many times.
Yes.
You know, most people, when they're successful, they give vague answers. They
Yes.
don't want to show where
Yes.
they've come from. They don't
Yes.
want to show like they've struggled.
Yes.
But I love that because people are going to watch this and be like, okay, I think this is not the end of the road,
Yes,
even when they
yes,
fail.
yes.
Because they will see a proper roadmap, how
Yes.
you went about it, how you dealt with the failing, and then
Yes.
coming back on board.
Yes.
I love that. Now, you mentioned somewhere that, because you were talking about your school journey,
Yes.
and I realized it was just girls' schools.
Yes,
Was it
yes.
deliberate from your mom's point of view or for yours?
I think it was my mom.
Hey.
Having a Catholic background, my mom comes from a Catholic background,
Yes.
and my grandfather was a catechist, but he's already gone. So I think she had some bit of comfort where she would leave her baby girl
Knowing that
in
you're
safe
safe
hands.
there, yes.
Because I must confess that Catholic schools are very strict.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Very strict.
I've
and
been
I
to a
love
few
that.
myself.
Yes.
Yeah, they
very
are.
strict, and many times people think the nuns may not know how to handle children because they don't give birth, but they are very good.
And I also think they have that
Yes, they
nurturing
have
bit
that
of it.
nurture, yes.
They have that nurturing
Yes.
compared to the normal
Yes.
like schools people have.
Yes.
But I think that, because even me, one thing I learned from the Catholic background school I've had is time management.
Yes.
There's a way they put you in line.
Yes.
You don't just
You
be
don't just-
there.
no, no.
Like, very good time
Very,
management.
very, yeah.
So you mentioned that you are a mom, you have a
Yes.
family.
Yes.
So I know that your job is also demanding.
Very.
How do you juggle between motherhood and being a boss and busy, and what is your schedule like? How do you manage
I would
that?
not say that a jack of all trades, but number one, I think it is planning and prioritizing.
Okay, I love that.
You plan and prioritize what is the most important.
Yes.
And that goes hand in hand with what season are you?
Ah, okay,
Yes,
I
yes,
like.
yes.
What is it?
What
Tell
is
us
the
more.
season?
Okay.
Because that determines what you prioritize.
Ah.
Now, being a mom and a wife, and
career
another thing
woman.
you don't know, a pastor,
Oh my God! How do you manage church? You are a
and
mama.
then a career. I think I've learned in my life, and given that background of strictness,
Yes, yes.
learn to set my priorities right, knowing what is needed most at the moment.
At that time, okay.
What is the environment, reading like.
Give me an example. I feel like I want to know the seasoning you're talking about.
Now, for instance, if it is a season, say you've just gotten a new job, like in this career transition, I've learned that in your first 100 days, people around you, whoever gave you the job, the ones, they must see something
They're
tangible.
watching you.
They're watching you. So it's a time for you to prioritize you, that I am going to put my
energy here for these 100 days.
100 days.
Okay.
But then you also calculate, in these 100 days, I still have
a
children,
baby,
I have a baby and what. Then you now allocate your time.
Okay.
You allocate your time. Of course, now being a mother, being a wife, and also being a pastor, early watch hours, early times is very important.
Okay.
And also late hours is very important.
Okay.
Personally, I utilize my time, especially when I've come out from the busy day, say I didn't have a church service, go home, do the chores quickly.
Okay.
Have everyone have eaten, they've gone to bed, and then have your time. Wow. That time that say maybe from 9:30 or 10 to midnight.
Yes. It's
it has
like
almost
personal
been
time
a
for you.
constant for me, my life over. And in that time, I'll do any extra work, but mainly focusing on what now matters in that season. Say if there's an office, it's an office work that I did not finish. I hear many people say, I don't carry my laptop home. And
I don't do work at home.
That depends on the season you're in. But if you're in that season, you may need to create an additional time. So I found myself in a place where you need to be ready to sacrifice certain hours to meet those demands, those hours. Then the waking up early also goes hand in hand, because when you wake up early, you're able to do certain things when
everyone is still
quiet.
Yes.
And if you're a wife and your mother, definitely you must.
Definitely. The morning hours for me, I think work for me. They're like for baby, breakfast, what he's going to
you must
do,
have things,
definitely.
You must have things fixed. So that's how you balance. And then, of course, in the issue of planning, with my ministry, by the grace of God, they know I'm a marketplace person. So my schedules, before they fix any time for me, they always give me opportunity. What time will you be available? So I'm able to fix the time. I'm able to actually go and minister. And then also in this era, ability to minister online has also
elevated it. Has given freed up some time for you. Instead of spending time in jam, you can spend that time ministering somewhere.
Yes, on phone, online. So that's how you juggle about. But I must say it is challenging. It takes a lot of determination again,
like you
and
said
sacrifice. For sure, for you to be a marketplace person, and then you have to serve in the ministry in a church. There's a lot of sacrifice. Pay a price.
So how do you manage to get time to actually relax and rejuvenate and feel like, okay, now I think I can now relax this time. I have this 1 hour. What do you do for fun, just to relax your mind?
Most times what I do for fun is like, I love being with my children. Sit with them, have time with them, and my weekends are actually for me and my children at home. Good enough, when the career was advancing, my Saturdays and Sundays, I've tried to keep it for
the
me
family.
and my family. As opposed to when I was in active enforcement work. No day for resting, every day. So, but when I've settled in, and as you go up, you try to shed off,
to declutter, delegate, and see what is more.
Build some reasonable delegation, and then build a team that you know that with that team, they'll actually support even when you're not there.
Wow, nice. Speaking about team, what has been your highlights in your work so far, like all through the years in your career? What has been that highlight? There could even be two or three.
The different levels come with different highlights, I should say. it is a team that believes in you, that you've connected with, that can actually do and support you to do whatever you're supposed to do. So teamwork has been really a strong background to my success in all these levels where I've served. My career, even as you see up to now, has been trying to make sure that there's fairness. There's fairness, there's justice, there's fairness. Talk about tax collection. Let everybody pay their fair share, that no one else pays a lot more because somebody else is not paying. We are using the same facilities. We go to the same facilities. So why would others pay and you don't?
So you've just told us about the nature of your work. You do tax investigation.
Yes.
So speaking about it, what challenges have been? I know that you've mentioned a bit of them. You've had to take steps that someone else wouldn't take. So what challenges have you faced as a woman in tax?
Yeah, of course there is this common notion and perception that women cannot handle certain kind of roles. But I must say that there is that natural fear that women always have to confront, especially hard issues. Because with tax investigation, we deal with difficult taxpayers, because we're dealing with fraud. We're dealing with fraud. So ability to stand your ground and really see that the matter is handled as is. As a woman, of course, you struggle between, there's that natural instinct that God has given women, that there's that part that is soft, that you feel, but then the law is there that must be followed. There are precedents that have been set. So you struggle as a woman. And also ability to still stand your ground amidst the majority who are men. And most of your team probably are men. Now when I look at my career, my reports, my bosses have been men. And then my reportees have been a mixture, but then majority men.
Still again.
Still men. So there is that, you feel that maybe the way I talk to them, they may not understand me because I'm a woman. But what has helped me is like you try to do everything professionally. And based on the guidelines, the rules. So you play within, you play within the rules. And you leave alone your feelings, your emotions, and try to
do the actual job
and do the actual job. But being a woman, I think it is a natural thing that you can never be the same as men. There's that thing within you that at times may make you feel that because you're a woman, or at times somebody may respond to you, think, is it because I'm a woman? But I've tried to push the professionalism, doing your work in a professional way, following the rules, so that you put out emotions and feelings.
I think that is a good precedence, and I think it's also a tip that other women can take from this show as they watch it and engage with your story. So, Agnes, what drives you as a person?
Passion. I think I'm passionate in doing whatever I do. And then that added to fairness, making sure that there's fairness for everybody out there. And seeing that whatever I put my heart to, I want to see the outcome. The passion to see that at the end of the day, did you actually achieve what you... So I tend to put in my whole. And also looking at the spiritual bit of it, I think I depend a lot on God. And the belief is that nothing is impossible.
You have the faith that pushes you, drives you.
If the other person can do it, me too. I can do it. So there is that inner belief that I can do it because of the faith, that I have the ability to do it. So passion, having that fairness, and also believing that I can do. So all that pushes me to ensure that I get what I want.
Okay, right now, there's a young girl, a lady, a woman, a mother watching this show. What would you tell them? Someone who is looking to join or start up their career. It could be in tax, it could be in engineering, anything. I mean, as women, sometimes we are challenged and we may feel timid or shy to join certain industries, like now this tax industry, that someone would say, that's a man's thing, maybe let me try my luck somewhere else. What would you tell them?
Number one, I would say go for your dream, no matter what happens, because no one knows how or how they would have aligned their childhood. So as a child, you may not have seen that maybe you may grow up in a less privileged position, but go for your dream.
Okay.
Follow your heart.
Okay.
Follow your heart and go and make sure you get what you want. Number two, cast away fear and procrastination. Many times opportunities come and because you think that you're a woman or you've not read much, you've not been exposed much, you grew up in the village, so you tend to be laid back. So cast away your fears. Cast away procrastination. Many push and say, I'll do this next time. Please push it away and be able to tap into what is out there. And then number three, there are many opportunities. Actually, the world is an oyster where everybody is playing.
Okay.
Play your game.
I like that. Okay.
Play your game. And you can play your game at whatever age, at whatever time. Don't limit yourself. Because personally, had I,
held back,
laid back and didn't pursue what I actually discovered later is the direction I wanted, I wouldn't probably have been here. And then finally, the world is changing. So even as a woman, keep yourself relevant.
Yes.
Be relevant.
Get a skill.
Get an additional skill. Keep yourself updated. Because the globe is changing. So that you're not left out and they say, a woman, no. Embrace yourself with all the changes, whatever opportunities are there, and remain relevant. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining the show. It was good to have you. I hope that our viewers can learn something from your story. Personally, I've learned that determination go hand in hand with sacrifice.
Yes.
And I've also learned to be resilient. I think you're one of the most resilient people I've met.
Yes.
And I'm glad that your story has come out. It's going to be out there. And I just hope that young ladies out there, even men, can learn, at least even if it's just one thing.
Yeah.
I hope that they can learn something from this show. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for having me. I'm blessed and honored to share my story.
Yes, thank you so much.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.